Welcome.
This is episode 3 of Which Was Better.
Today we're going to be doing something kind of neat. First of all, there's 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Threesome. Come here, Anthony.
Oh.
Give me your sword.
Oh my!
It's fake. It's fake. Anyway, we're going to be discussing movies here. But not just any movies. Brian, what kind of movies?
We're gonna talk about Dragon Ball Z movies. Which one? We're gonna say which one's the best. We think is the best one. Specifically, we're talking about the theatrical ones, not the TV movies. Because if we were, then we would pretty much all say Bardock.
Essentially, I guess. Yeah, whatever. But the actual movies that were released theatrically in Japan, all the regular movies based off Dragon Ball Z only, not Dragon Ball or GT, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there are 13 in total, but we all have our own favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're going to be debating which was the all-time best. I will be debating for Return of Cooler.
I will be debating for Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan.
Wrath of the Dragon, baby.
Alright, let's light this bitch. I guess I'll go first since Return of Cooler's the earliest one.
I'll go then I'll go after you, and Matt, you go last, because we're going in order that they were released.
Alright. Now, Return of Cooler. This is an all-round great movie to watch. It's got a great length. It's got, for a Dragon Ball Z movie, a pretty good plot. It's got great animation and great fight scenes. And that's the main thing about this story. That's the main thing about this movie I all-around just like.
Bullshit!
This is going to be a running joke, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
Okay, go on.
Alright, first of all, Cooler. Possibly the best villain that the movie spawned. Possibly the best villain in Dragon Ball Z all around. He's Frieza, except smarter, less whiny and annoying, and more conniving, a lot smarter, a much more interesting villain. Add that in the mix that you got this interesting science fiction element to the story. The whole thing with the Big Yeti Star is so interesting. Correcting every flaw in his design and rebuilding his metallic body, and then creating all the copies of him because that's the only way it sees fit to beat Goku and Vegeta. All around, the action plus the plot, it's a perfect mix. It doesn't, out of all the movies, maybe it doesn't have the best action, maybe it doesn't have the best plot, but it's got the best mix of it. And all around, it almost has the best action, almost has the best plot, but the mix of it, out of all 13 of the movies, is perfect, and the whole thing with the Big Yeti Star, as I said, is interesting. It's interesting how they don't just fight one guy or multiple and get it over with. No, that's just a random metallic body, really. They've actually got to go find his remains and destroy that. And it's not just Goku who does it, essentially it's Vegeta who actually beats him. And all the other scenes, it makes Gohan and Piccolo and even Krillin seem useful in this movie as they fight their way through all the other robotic robots. And the plot here is a little different. By this time, it had just been someone coming to Earth and wrecking shit. This time they have a reason to actually... This time they go to New Namek. They're actually going out somewhere else, and there's a reason. For that. Plus, Cooler's motivation has also changed. It's now just revenge for himself, rather than getting back for Goku disgracing his family. All around, it's the perfect mix, and pretty practically the perfect Dragon Ball Z movie.
Okay, I go.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, one reason why I think that Broly is the best is because, while he may not be the best villain in the series, one thing...
About? He was awesome.
I said maybe not the best in the series.
Okay.
He said he may not be the best one in the series, but one thing that I find interesting about him is that, look at all the villains all the villains before him in the Dragon Ball Z movies. Let's see, there were Garlic Jr. He had people help him to do things. So did Dr. Wheelo, Turles, Lord Slug, Cooler, and in the androids from Super Android 13. All of them had help. Broly was able to do this all by himself. I like it how they did that. I thought there was an interesting concept for the movies. I also think that, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the plot thing. I don't think there's anything special about the plot, really. Yeah, I think it's, like, no, I don't think it does anything different, but I think Broly did do something different. You know, I thought there was more to the plot. I thought there was more, like, I just thought that it had the best blend of plot and action. You know, I just thought it was the most enjoyable also. I had a really good time watching it.
Could you say I thought even more?
You're bullshit!
You see, that's why you're wrong. You think you don't know!
This is opinion after all.
It's a joke, live with it.
Yeah, I just found it the most enjoyable to watch. I had a great time watching it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Matt, your turn.
Wrath of the Dragon. Fuck yeah, baby. Anyway, so Wrath of the Dragon was, in my opinion, definitely hands down the best because, number one, it had the best story overall. I loved the story. The story had great emotional attachments. You really felt for Tapion. You really liked the characters in it, and you got to see how, like, emotionally attached he got to Trunks and everything, and how he saw Trunks as his younger brother. I liked how it's just, like, and I have to disagree with both of you. I felt that the stories in those were really weak. It was just, like, a setup for, like, one big fight. That the story wasn't really that important. But, you know what? I freaking... And, the only problem I really have with the movie overall is just the lack of, like, a really major villain like Broly or Cooler. I mean, the other ones had, like, Lord Slug, Bojack. Was Dead Zone the one with garlic? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one really didn't have that. It had, like, that giant monster thing that was, like, inside Tapion. Yeah. And, overall, it just had the most heartfelt story. But for me, it just had the most heartfelt story. It had the strongest character development. It just felt like something fresh and new, aside from the other ones, which were just setups to, like, big fights for Goku to take on and essentially beat in, like, different ways.
Alright, it's funny. First of all, it's funny you say for Goku to beat. Okay? Who was the one who essentially beat Broly?
Goku.
Who was the one, even though it wasn't even really his story, who beat Hirudegan?
Goku.
Now, in Return of Cooler, despite Goku delivering the final blow to Cooler, who was the one who really gave him that chance?
Vegeta.
Exactly.
But Goku still did it.
You can clearly see, though, he would have been fucking mincemeat had Vegeta not been there. All the other ones? Are you kidding me? Everyone else gets their ass handed to him so quickly. Broly and Wrath of the Dragon, everyone just gets their dicks handed to him right away.
Yeah, well, you've got to remember how powerful Broly is.
Right.
And how friggin' awesome Hirudegan was. I mean, like...
And, like, and how pretty much the only way to kill him was with Tapion's sword, except for the Dragon Fist.
Yeah. Oh, where did that come from? I mean...
Yeah, that was kind of a letdown for me. I would have liked it a lot more if it was Trunks who killed him with that sword.
Or at least had it been Trunks, like, weakening him with the sword. I mean, he slashes off one limb, but that
was his tail.
You get my point. And then, but that barely does anything but make Hirudegan scream out in pain for a few seconds.
And
I will admit this to you, Matt. Out of all the movies, the best plot goes to Wrath of the Dragon.
Yes, I will agree
hands down.
I will agree with that.
But Return of Cooler to me had the best blend of action and plot. Because if you ask me, the best action-based one overall.
What plot? There was no plot to Return of Cooler.
Yes, there was. I'm not saying it was a great plot.
No,
but
the plot to Return of the Cooler was they go to New Namek, they fight Meta Cooler and his many
That's it,
minions.
and that's it.
What was Broly, huh?
There was... Okay, here's the thing, though. But what... Paragus, or whatever his father's name was, he wanted to restore Saiyan dominance.
A bit more
and
plot. A bit
he wanted
more
to...
plot.
The reason why he planned this all out, he wanted to get the Z-Fighters to come to New Vegeta so that he could would kill them there, so there would be no one to defend Earth because he wanted to restore Saiyan dominance. He thought it was the perfect planet for that.
No,
it had more of a plot for it.
Maybe it did, but what had the best blend of both?
Broly!
Let's face it, there were some dull parts in Broly.
I was never born in Broly.
Broly took forever to get started up. And
I didn't mind it. I liked how they built up things in it. That's why I think it was the best. It took its time with things. I liked that about it.
It's a Dragon Ball Z movie.
He's got a point. Plot.
Oh yeah, because there's so much more action in Wrath of the Dragon.
Yeah, but Wrath of the Dragon...
that was but Wrath of the Dragon had the plot to at least make up for that. Yes, Wrath of the Dragon didn't. Wrath of the Dragon, action-wise, did get dull as well. But at least that one had the story to pick it up. Broly didn't.
Broly just dragged.
Also,
I was not bored with Broly. What are you guys talking about?
Out of your mind. And also,
you're out of your mind.
You're out of your. At least
I'm gayer.
You're out of your mind.
I'm gayer.
I'm fatter.
No, I'm fatter. No, not in front of the camera. Man, I have to censor that. Man, I have to censor that shit. Come on.
Ruin the fucking video. Anyway, also, and who had the better?
Wait. By the way, ladies, I am single. Stop that.
Okay, when did this go from a debate to a gay contest?
Alright.
Anthony owned count. 1.
Alright, anyway. Also, who had the more interesting villain? What was Broly's motivation again? Goku wouldn't stop crying as a baby?
Broly was insane!
And that's why
Broly was insane! And on top of that, the trauma of, like, being bugged by Goku drove him nuts.
And not to mention the fact that he was almost killed as a baby.
But then why does he take that out on Goku? Huh? Oh, and what the hell was with the whole Planet Vegeta blows up, but Broly creates a shield that carries him and his father?
Because he has a insane power level for a baby.
How long?
He is a legendary Super Saiyan.
He can do that.
Oh, but the minute Goku gets energy from his friends after they've been pummeled to shit, gives him enough to, you know,
it was a combination of a Super Namekian and
like 3
Super
Super Saiyans.
No, 4 Super Saiyans counting Goku.
Oh, but a planet exploding wasn't enough. And not only that, how long do you think they were floating in space?
Because they got away.
How long do you think they were floating in space before they actually came out across a planet? I mean, how quickly were they hovering? I mean,
it could have been a while.
It wasn't instant transmission. It was. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck?
Okay, I'm gonna agree with him. When the fuck did they know instant transmission? They would have had to go to Yardat to do that.
They clearly used instant transmission earlier on in Broly. Did you not watch the movie?
Goku did. Broly didn't know instant transmission. He was just quick. Okay?
Okay, but here's the thing though. They could have taken a long time. They could have
Broly's second coming?
No.
They could have taken a long time, but they could have also not had to go that far. So we don't know for sure.
Right, because, you know, another planet was right there.
I'm not saying right there. They could have maybe had to travel for like a day or something.
I mean, Legendary Super Saiyan or not, he's an infant, okay? And that's another thing. Going back to Wrath of the Dragon, I mean, what the hell? You just had to make way for Goku pulling this, although awesome, this random attack out of his ass. You completely took everything away from Tapion and Trunks. I mean, what the...
And let's not forget, here, I need you to free this guy from the Dragon Balls. Oh, sure, person we've never met before, or who's probably gonna turn on us, we'll help you.
And you know what? I'm gonna say this also. Which movie turned Vegeta, even though there was a reason, say it all you want, which movie turned Vegeta into a pussy, essentially?
Again, there was a reason, and even if you use the argument that what's it called?
Vegeta didn't even have a badass entrance in that movie like he usually does.
So what? That's just an entrance. Does it make that big?
Everything.
Does it make that big of a deal? Yeah, because Broly is insane.
The awesomest character.
Because Broly's insanely powerful.
But you see, that's another thing. I'm gonna say this about Broly. He was such an interesting concept that I think that he just got the bullshit end of it. He should have been like the final. He should have been in the show. But he should have been like the final enemy. He was such a great idea, but putting him in, that just kind of ruined him. with Cooler and Hirudegan, it made sense. You know, they weren't all that, you know, powerful. Broly, they made out to be too powerful, and then they just beat him, and it's like, oh, well, that just makes a lot of sense. No, it doesn't.
Okay, let's...
And another thing, and going back to Vegeta, how long did he last in Wrath of the Dragon also? Which movie did...
I forget, how long did he last? I haven't seen that in a while.
Lasted longer than in Broly, but he just came in, fought for about a few minutes, and then went through that building.
Yes, but unlike Broly, he had a badass entrance.
So what?
Badass entrance.
That makes such a difference.
And which movie did Vegeta actually pretty much truly help beat the villain in?
He helped in Broly when he gave all that energy.
Oh, he gave it to Goku, you know, because Goku's got to be the big one to deliver the final blow. Oh, did you see what happened in Cooler?
It's always Goku because Akira.
Goku does that in every movie.
It's always Goku because Akira, except for BoJack.
Yeah. No one cares about BoJack.
Okay, and again, what is it? Return of Cooler had so much a more interesting concept. The computer that self-corrects, and self-corrects his every single flaw and improves him. And the fact that he.
But how the fuck did it do that?
Yeah, like, and also what I want to know is where the fuck did that come from? Like that I just seem so random and convenient to me.
And on top of that, how did that little computer chip thing suddenly grow out like all those wires and stuff and was able to like?
And how is it able to do stuff with organic material? I thought it could only. They said it could only do it with technological stuff.
And how is it able to get a hold of Cooler's brain from the fucking?
Oh yeah,
sun?
because he was incinerated into ashes.
No, not even. He was incinerated into nothing. It was the freaking sun.
Pieces could have scattered all over.
Oh yeah, because there's no. Oh yeah, because the sun's like how many times bigger than the Earth, and he's like.
Did you ever think of it this way? Don't you?
He was not like exploded into the sun. He was pushed into the sun.
Like, and let's look at how fast he was being pushed into it.
Wait. Okay, wait. So you're gonna complain about him not being completely incinerated in the sun, but you're not gonna complain that he wasn't already, that he shouldn't have already been incinerated when he was just a few miles away anyway? This you're talking about a being that
because he was slowly being burned, and it took a while for him to be completely destroyed.
And on top of that, he can take a Kamehameha. He can just fly up through a Kamehameha.
And let's not.
A Kamehameha isn't as powerful as the sun, first of all. Secondly,
yeah, but it proves that he can take great heat or whatever the hell that was.
Secondly, you're talking about a being that can survive in space random for God knows what. And he's
think about what the sun is made of.
And remember,
the sun is exploding gas!
I believe that pieces of him probably got scattered more than I believe the fact that an infant, legendary Super Saiyan or not, carried him and his father through space for God knows how long. I highly doubt there could have been a planet, anything close enough, unless there was a spaceship that just happened to have been passing through and be like, oh my god, did you see that planet explode? Oh my god, is that a baby and some guy?
Oh yeah, let's not forget to mention, like, okay, here's the thing though. Let's look at how fast he was being pushed towards the sun. That's like how many miles per hour? And when he finally hits the sun, he was probably pushed a little past the center of the sun. So there should have been nothing that came out of it.
He would have been toast. Beyond.
Okay, I think that we're. Okay. I don't think there's anything else really to say.
Okay, wait. So
I'm not
done with agreement. Wrath of the Dragon was the best.
No, all right, I'm not done with the Big Giddy Star thing. Also, that was a much more interesting idea.
So then, why don't you think that Cooler should have been in the show? Why do you think Broly should have been in the show instead?
Because Broly was written to be this big, powerful thing, but he got the shit end of it by somewhat of an anticlimactic end. Cooler was alright for it. Cooler is just sort of a personal thing. Broly, I may like Cooler more, but Broly would have made more sense to be in the show.
So then you agree that Broly was a better movie?
Or that Broly was better?
No, that doesn't make sense.
You're admitting that one should have been in the show over the other.
That doesn't mean that he's better. The story he was given made more sense for him to be in the show, so he could have gotten a more definite, much better end. Because remember,
I see what you mean.
Because I may like Cooler more, but Broly got somewhat of an anticlimactic end there, okay? And another thing, the Big Giddy Star is such an interesting idea, okay? First of all, okay, Sure, we don't know the origins of the computer, but that's probably better. You don't have to explain every single detail.
No,
So
they do sort of explain the origin in the movie.
they said that it was just a few pieces floating out in space from what nobody knows where. And I would have think maybe had it built up, had it become such an advanced computer at one point, it basically would have had an artificial intelligence. Excuse me, my neck problems are acting up. It would have had an artificial intelligence to
Here,
the
let me
point
fix
where
that for you.
to the point where it would have known what to do if it had it found biological material.
How? It it never encountered biological material until Cooler. How would it have learned to do that?
I don't know. Computers are smarter than us. It's not explained, but nor does it need to be explained.
I sure think it does, based on all the questions I've been asking.
You might as well be constantly asking what was in the Marcellus Wallace's briefcase in Pulp Fiction, when it really isn't that important.
That's a completely different thing.
No, it's not technically. No, it is not.
The only thing they have in common is that it's a mystery.
But it's supposed to be. You don't have to. Not every single tiny detail needs to.
Yeah, but that wasn't as big of a plot point in Pulp Fiction. And when did this turn into a debate about Pulp Fiction?
I'm giving an example, and you.
Can we please focus on Dragon Ball Z?
I'm giving an example. It's called an example. I'm not trying to stray this off towards Pulp Fiction. And you, Rather the Dragon, great story. But what the hell? What the? Are you kidding? What the fuck was with that? I mean, you took. Oh, Goku has to be the one to deliver the final blow. I mean,
Because he's the most powerful Saiyan, because he's the most powerful freaking being in the universe.
Yeah, but that
He's
gets
not-
so old.
I know. It does. I agree. I feel that was the only flaw with the story, that they should have had like.
What about the
thing?
What about the thing I said about they just trust this random guy who they've never met before?
Well, have you seen Goku's brains, man?
I know, but that's
And
still
Gohan's-
I think Goku
Come
would
on,
be smart.
everyone in the character was an idiot.
Okay,
Everyone in the
maybe
show was an idiot.
okay, maybe Goku I can understand, but everyone else, seriously, they are not that dumb.
Yes, they are.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
I'm gayer.
Yes, you are.
And by the way, Return of Cooler even made Krillin useful. Suck it. Suck it, suck it, suck it.
Yeah,
Krillin!
I don't think we have anything else to say. I think we're done.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think we're all in
alright.
I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah, I think
Closing arguments, Return of Cooler, interesting concept with the Big Yeti star, the whole correcting, interesting villain, great action, and sure, not the best plot, but the best mix.
Okay, my closing argument, I think it had the best blend into story and action, and we got the most action, and that was just as good, and I thought it was overall just a lot of fun to watch.
So you liked Return of Cooler?
I'm talking about Broly!
You didn't clarify.
Which one am I representing?
Which race? I don't know.
Oh my god, you fucking people. Matt, closing argument.
Wrath of the Dragon. Awesomest story. Awesomest characters.
Awesomest 50
Awesomest
cents.
everything.
Just tell us who you thought of the best debate, what you think is the best one, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. Good night.
Return of Cooler for the win.
Broly for the win.
Wrath of the Dragon for life.
Mm.